I guess we should start off. This is the inaugural episode of the Couch Potato Society. CPS, not to be mistaken for Child Protective Services.
Not to be.
All right. First things first. As with all things that start, I guess we need to have a little bit of an introduction explaining what this is, why we're burdening the world with another podcast, two middle-aged men talking about movies we've watched.
Well, we are the Couch Potato Society, and basically, just got a lot of friends at work. Always talking about what they're talking about on Netflix and what they like and what they don't like, and everybody's listening to podcasts these days, and I couldn't find a decent podcast talking about movies that were good or not on Netflix, and I'm sure everybody's tired of wasting 6 hours trying to figure out something decent to find on Netflix, so here we go. We suffered through that for you.
We suffered so that you don't have to.
We're going to let you know what's good coming out on Netflix, what might be in the past. You know, something's been out for a little while. You may have missed some good things to watch there.
This year especially, it seems like finding things on Netflix is difficult because they are dumping so much original content.
Oh, it's so hard to keep up
at such a rapid pace right now. I think I think that's something I read that they just in comedy specials alone, they're dropping a new comedy special every week throughout the entire year of 2018.
They're really getting into a lot of the foreign film market too. I've seen a lot more Spanish movies and TV shows coming on.
A lot of Spanish stuff.
They're really trying to expand, and we'll talk about one of these in here later on. But they even had a game show on there. Like they created their own game show recently, which is
what's it called?
It's in here.
It's in here.
I'd have to.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We'll get to it.
All right.
I don't remember to be truthfully.
Yeah, there is. It's a little tricky getting on Netflix. What I always end up doing is trying to find something and then inevitably spending about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, and you've got so many options. Like that's the worst thing. Like you give a kid 3 options.
Yeah.
In the toy store, they're gonna take an hour.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna choose any of those 3 options. They're gonna go take something else. I feel the same way when I log into Netflix. I'm like,
what am I gonna watch? And then
I've got a list on Netflix with 30 movies. I never pick one of those movies.
Yes.
For 2, 3, 4 years.
Yes, that's the story of me on 13 Assassins, which I just finally watched.
Good movie.
Spoiler alert, it was actually pretty good.
Someone's been recommending it to me for about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a pretty good movie. I will say this for Netflix, though. They really have... Well, first off, it seems pretty clear that they have been hitting the film circuit, or the film festival circuit pretty hard.
Yeah, they've been getting stuff from Sundance and everywhere else.
Yeah, so you're beginning to see like a lot of like those jury prize winning films are beginning to show up on Netflix. Almost... If it is a foreign film that you have heard of that is in current release or has come out recently, chances are it's either coming to Netflix or it's on Netflix right now. Same thing for documentaries. I think a number of like all of the documentaries that have been nominated for Academy Awards over this past year and as foreign language films, we're beginning to see them slowly come on there. Which... I'm kind of happy for it. It's more movies that can go on my queue that I won't watch for 3 hours.
A lot of my friends are getting into those documentaries, and I love them too. I mean, I've loved documentaries for forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got a lot of good stuff out there.
All right. Well, we're digressing. All right. So why don't we go ahead and let's get started. All right. First up, and we'll do a cut right there.
Okay.
All right.
So did you watch any of these recent TV shows? We're going to get into the TV shows, things that have come out. We'll talk about specifically what's come out this month, and then we're just going to read off a list of things that have come out since March the 1st, and then we'll go on through currently what's come up today.
As Samuel Jackson would say, hold on to your butts. It's an extensive list. All right, so we're going to start with TV shows, right?
Yes, we'll go with TV shows.
All right, take it away.
All right, first one, 21 Thunder.
Anything?
No, nothing about it.
Nothing
we'll just keep going through the list till we
right.
decide something we want to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Edo Karam, Live from Beirut.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
not sure what that is. I'm assuming that's a comedy special, probably.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit, the 18th year. That tells you everything you need to know.
Is that the actual title? The 18th
The
year.
18th year. I don't think anything should be.
You know what? Because we haven't seen enough. There's not enough special victims in 17 years. All right. The Beginning. Nope. Flint Town. Nope.
Yes.
You have? Okay.
Yes.
What is Flint Town?
So it's about Flint, Michigan, and
I should have seen that. Yeah.
yes, you need to check that out. It's each episode's about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. They've got such a small police force there in Flint, Michigan, and I didn't realize it. And so they've got rampant crime and corruption going on there. And then all these police can't handle it. And of course, with all the, police stuff that's going on, the current
the climate,
political.
so
yeah.
and they're already in a lot of scrutiny right now because of do you make sure that you're drinking bottled water as you're watching each episode?
No, I did not.
No, of course not. It would become suffer just like the fellow Flintonians, I guess.
I have not watched the whole season, but I did make it through the first few episodes, and it's something I would not mind going through and rewatching. And it's actually filmed beautifully as well.
That has been the really amazing thing, is like seeing how cinematic documentaries have become. I'm guessing because all the gear is so much more lightweight now, but it's like cinema level. It's like cinematography. It's real quality cinematography.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff, and it's pretty dark too.
Yeah.
Everything going on in Flint. Check it out. You need to.
All right, well, let's go on. That is a recommendation from Malachi. All right, Girls Incarcerated.
Man.
No, I think I was having a difficult time explaining it to my wife.
Women prison movies with my wife, and although I think she's seen some of those.
Orange is the New Black?
No, nothing like that.
Nothing
I know everybody loves it, but no. I'm just not.
Girl Interrupted. Caged Heat.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's amazing. I don't know, because they've got a lot of those documentaries where the.
Is this a documentary as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not sure, though, to tell you the truth. I thought it was a documentary.
If it is a documentary, I'm immediately not interested.
They got. Women get catty. I imagine there's a lot of drama going on in the female prisons, and
can you imagine?
Yeah, I'd hate it.
Is it you have to wonder what exactly is the what's the protocol for establishing dominance? Usually they say take out the biggest man in the yard, and what is the female prisoner equivalent of that?
I don't know, man. Do you think they're all jealous of one certain hottie in the prison? You think there's any hotties in prison?
Well, any port in a storm, I suppose. All right, moving on.
Voltron? You watch that?
I do not. I have a friend at work loves it.
I've also got a friend at work who loves it.
Absolutely loves it.
He's crazy about it.
Really brags about it.
He binged through that thing like crazy.
And says that it's not geared for children.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't think that it's anything that's particular. I don't think it's HBO content. I don't think there's a lot of Voltron nudity.
Well, that's a lot of the newer the newest Batman, Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
It's rated R. It's definitely not geared for children.
Yeah. Okay.
But did you ever like Voltron growing up?
Truthfully, until Netflix renewed it or started airing it, I wasn't remotely familiar with Voltron at all.
I was not aware of it either.
Yeah.
I guess that one passed by.
It just sort of sounded like an
Ultron,
Transformers, Japanese giant robot. I don't know.
Yeah, I did watch some of the original Voltron stuff. It was kind of interesting, but I'm not going to stick around and watch it all. My kids might like it, but
yeah, well, and it's difficult. This is coming from somebody who, earlier today I was just having a very in-depth conversation about a Star Trek Next Generation episode. Having said that, I feel like my litmus is an anime. I feel like that's like the nerd bridge too far.
I've only seen a couple anime that I really liked, and they were movies. They weren't the TV shows.
Are you counting like Howl's Moving Castle and things like that?
No, I was not. But now that
Miyazaki.
I probably should be counting.
I guess those are technically.
Films.
I think those are the ones where it's you're permitted to like those movies because they are really good.
Yeah, those are pretty.
I'm not trying to dismiss the entirety of Japanese animation, but if you like it, I think you're a loser.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That just went live.
Yeah. Let's walk that one back.
Did you,
Cultural correspondent, Chris Coates.
Did you see,
I love some Japanese movies, though.
Did you see Appleseed?
No, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
Is this anime, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that there is great anime. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And the people that I see watching anime don't encourage me to watch
I understand that.
anime.
I feel the same way about some comic book nerds, too. Like, people go on about it. I mean, it's just teach his own, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Moving on.
All right.
Joe McHale show with none other than Joe McHale.
Nope.
Do you know who that is?
I don't.
The same. I'm sure we'll sound ignorant on the internet, but I have no idea who that is. I
All right.
didn't even see that pop up.
World's Most Extraordinary Home, Season 1.
Look, man, I watched this. I like those stupid home shows. I'm not going to lie.
So watching those stupid home shows, I think has saved my marriage on more than one occasion. It's so hard finding things to watch together, and like home shows and cooking shows seem to be like the two. It's like when we can like when we can unite.
The only thing I didn't like, I mean, the cool thing I like about this is that, man, the architecture that goes into some of these homes is brilliant. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's super cool, and it's pretty to look at. It's an hour each episode. I'm not going to binge an hour. You know, maybe they should do like 30 minute.
What you just mentioned, I would say the exact same thing about Ugly Delicious.
Yes, I was going to bring that up as well later on.
And a number of other of those kind of cooking / travel shows.
I 100% agree.
I feel like they should be 30 minutes in and out. Give us what we need, and on to the next thing.
The other thing that kind of got really annoying real quick with the World's Most Extraordinary Homes is, I mean, they just would not go on and on. I mean, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars going into these things, and it's just like it's almost kind of pretentious after a while.
At a certain point, it's like
this
I
person,
don't know that I can handle having these these douchebags talk about their.
To build their house, they got an airplane wing from a 747 to make it as part of their roof up the side of a mountain. So they had to pay for this helicopter to come airlift this deal up all the way to the top of this mountain. And then they're like, oh yeah, if we get in crosswinds, we're just going to drop it. You're going to have to lose all your money. And they're like, okay, I think it's worth it.
Those are like the kind of people that it's like you just pray that you're never in a situation where you end up seeing like one of those people and like a Kardashian simultaneously, because then your circuits begin to malfunction because you're trying to figure out which one to punch and physically assault first.
Yeah, man, I don't get it. Like, I mean, congrats to them. You know, I'm glad they made it in life, but man, I think of better things to do with money after. Beautiful spots though. I mean, I can see why they chose to build their house there because the view's amazing. But
yeah,
I mean, gosh.
Yeah, it's plenty of other views and much cheaper. There's a lot of Criterion releases that I could use that money for.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Exactly.
I'm trying to build my Voodoo collection at the moment. Borderline Season 1. Did you watch it?
No.
Me either. Bad Guys Vile City Season 1 or Marvel Jessica Jones Season 2.
I have watched part of Jessica Jones Season 1, and I have to be completely candid. I have not been a fan of any of the Marvel Netflix TV series.
Yeah, everybody's going to hate me for this, but I've not been able to stick around with any of them.
Now, truth be told, now having said that, from what I did, I think I watched 3 episodes of the first season of Jessica Jones, and of the Marvel originals, it seemed to be the best. And it was kind of interesting. I just have like a slight aversion, I think, to how unlikable the Jessica Jones character is.
Yeah, and she really is unlikable, and she's unlikable in some other stuff too. There's a TV show that came out that she was originally called The Bee in Apartment 23.
Yeah, and she was very accurately cast, I felt like.
Yes, agreed. And so I've kind of just not liked her ever since.
Yeah, she's kind of a bee.
Yeah. It's like I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, but there's like a bad character on there named Cersei, and it's Lena Headey, and like in real life, apparently a lot of people are very nasty to her because her character is pretty nasty. Maybe that's what's happening.
You know, I'm sure she's just a great actress, but she's a really great actress because she's incredibly unlikable.
Yeah.
It's like Anne Hathaway levels of unlikability.
Oh man, that's high.
It is high. All right, going on. AICO incarceration. Nope. Whatever. Collateral limited series. Does that have anything to do with the
No.
Tom Cruise movie? Okay. I actually really love that.
I love that
Tom
movie
Cruise.
too.
Yes. It's really good.
It's one of his better ones.
I have not seen that movie. I was thinking about that just the other day, and
I think about that scene all the time where Jamie Foxx just flips down and he's like,
Oh.
I'm going on vacation.
Oh yeah.
When I'm at work, sometimes I'm just like, I need to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene where like the coyote goes across the street while they're driving. That's really really cool, memorable scene. A lot of Michael Mann movies, I've come to this conclusion that they actually have not seemed to have aged terribly well. So I would like to rewatch and see. And maybe like a couch potato review.
Yes, we can do that.
Review, yeah.
Review.
Yeah. Okay.
Love season 3. I know we both watched this.
I have seen this. All right.
I loved it.
I love.
Yes.
Love. It's great.
It's a shame that it's the end.
No, okay, so have you seen the whole season?
I've seen the whole season.
I watched the whole season
series.
in about 3 days.
Yeah, same here.
And that's what, when we were talking about like that 30-minute time frame, I feel like Love is like a great example of like they have those half-hour chunks and you just eat them like candy.
Oh yeah, it's so good. And then it moves on to the next thing.
Yeah. Truth be told, I think that what I like about it kind of still has that sort of Apatow-y vibe where, hey, we're going to really dive into people's relationships. We're going to have comedies, but we're also going to have like really thoroughly developed characters.
Yeah, the characters are all great.
The characters are great. The two leads especially. And I think Love does a really good example where Jessica Jones kind of falls flat, which is they take the female lead, Mickey, who is a mess. Excuse me.
She's not very likable either.
She-
and you like the stuff she does, you want to hate her for.
Yeah, she's incredibly unlikable, but
you kind of start
Yeah.
almost sympathize with her through parts of it, and
eventually it's like I like that character,
Yeah.
you know, and I like
you want to root for him.
yeah, you root for them, and then they do a couple of really good things, which is they have, and this is, I think, is a really special achievement of that show. We see shows that have like really well developed female characters, or even movies like Bridesmaids, and we can see shows that have like really great developed male characters like Silicon Valley, and this one does a really great job of like simultaneously giving like a really great male perspective and female perspective.
I love how all the dudes are decidedly nerdy, and almost some of them are just kind of losers, but some of them aren't. But
Yeah.
but they're not
Randy.
nerdy. Yes,
A real loser.
No, I didn't want to go.
Randy.
But yeah, I felt bad for Randy too. You know, in his
Well,
own
that's
way.
a great thing. They actually do a great job. Like every single character, even the ones who would be losers, and that to me was the real surprise of season 3 was that they actually put the time into developing Birdie.
Yes.
Fantastic actress.
I actually liked her character through some of it. She came off kind of ditzy in like the first season, but she kind of developed.
Well,
her own
she's
later on.
kind of a background character,
Yeah.
and I thought they did really great things with her. So on the one hand, I like the male character, I like the female character, and then I like a good romance. I like seeing those two characters together.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I kind of felt like the first season was like actually like a kind of a perfect romantic comedy. Like that first season could be like its own movie. And the second 2 seasons that followed up, I thought season 3 was just as good. And even though it is over, it does kind of end on a note of some finality,
Yeah, no.
and it gives you a nice ending.
Yeah, you definitely have satisfaction through the ending.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I suspect that this could be like a show that I actually rewatch.
I would be up for it. Sarah just watched the end of season 3 with me. She didn't stick out through the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Our first couple seasons.
Yeah.
So I won't be surprised if we go back and rewatch it. Although she's not really into some kind of dramas like that, like 500 Days of Summer and whatnot.
Now, I will say this is like because they
argue a lot.
They argue a lot. They cut close to the bone on a lot of like, these are, when they get into arguments, it's not like about like movie arguments. These are like real relationship arguments.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can be like really uncomfortable, but they always kind of manage to find the laugh in it, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
I've been really sympathetic. I as nerdy as the guys are, I think that's really appealing. I feel like Gus, like I mentioned before, I feel like he's like my spirit animal.
That's what I was saying. Is like I like that the guys are nerdy, but they're not nerdy just for being the sake of nerdy. Like
Yeah. No, I mean
it adds depth to their
they're
character.
like nerdy in the way that like the Big Bang characters are not.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it really. And I felt so sympathetic with the season as he's making his short film. Like, I felt like anybody who's made a short film knows what that is like. I can't say enough good things about it.
I love that
show.
the idea of their whole band is making up theme songs
Yes.
for movies.
And they have that, Mike
that don't
Gran
have theme
Torino.
songs.
Yeah.
Yes. That was so great.
Or the angels were weeping while you were sleeping. You know?
So Sarah came in and watched the episode while they're on stage singing,
Yeah.
you know, and she's like, what's going on here? But so I kind of had to explain it, but
Yeah.
that was good stuff.
I can't say enough good things about it. And I can fill the entire episode saying good things.
Yes, same
Right,
here.
So let's go on. My next guest needs no introduction. I have with sorry, I'm not a humanitarian. Molly, you all know who she is. She is the woman who is advocating for women's rights in the Middle East, and she is by all accounts, she seems to be a pretty interesting and pretty extraordinary person. She's had a number of attempts made on her life, and I think she's barely 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she's the real deal. Now, this is just the new episode. This is a monthly series of basically a new talk show that David Letterman does. David Letterman famously just began to be completely checked out of his show towards the end, especially having to talk to celebrities about products that he didn't really care about. So the hook on this show is that he talks to people, and it's called My Guest Needs No Introduction. It's people that we all know, and he is only speaking to people that he is interested in. So he said,
what a great way to do a show on your own terms.
Yeah, I mean, and he really has written it. He's done 3 guests so far. It's been Barack Obama. This is his first episode. George Clooney, and then this young lady. It's an interesting show.
I've not watched it yet, but I did think that it sounded fairly interesting. I almost watched the first episode last night, but after about 3 movies in, I fell asleep on the couch.
I can't say that I blame you. Now, truth be told, I am a much bigger fan of another comedian's talk show that is also on this list. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Let's get
in
to
a
that.
second.
Nailed it. Season 1. This is the game show that I was telling you about, which it's got a really great idea behind it. It's because, you know, everybody's got wives or girlfriends or any women listening. They've all seen the stuff on Pinterest that looks Pinterest perfect, and they try and make it, and it does not come out that way.
That's actually probably a really great game show idea.
And so
Because
what they
you
do,
see all those memes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And so what they do is they get 3 contestants, and then they've got 3 judges, and they're like, here's this awesome whatever, cake or cupcake or cookie or whatever. Make it to look like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, I mean, you can imagine, it's just it's a mess.
Have you watched it with your wife?
I have watched it with my wife. We watched the first few episodes.
I think this would be a great wife show.
It's I think we had a good laugh through it together.
Good.
It's not something I'm personally going to go back to just because we got so much other stuff to go through. But if you just got time to kill, I think it's pretty funny. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Trolls. The Beat Goes On, season 2.
My kids love the movie.
So do mine.
Doesn't care too much for the TV show, man.
You know what? My child also loves the movie. I'm not in any mood to really encourage further interest in it at all.
I understand.
They sort of lost me at Sparkle Farts.
But they're magical.
That's true. And they smell good. All right. Power Rangers, Ninja Steel, season 1. Don't give a flip.
Oh, man. My daughter is into Power Rangers right now.
You know what?
She likes it.
If it's not 1993, completely redone American Power Rangers, not interested.
So,
even those are pretty terrible. Although, having said that, the movie... Did you see the theatrical film, Power Rangers?
Yes, I did. I did not hate it.
Surprisingly, I expected to be terrible. I went into watching to expect to see a bad movie and to embrace it on that level, and it was actually a pretty decent... It was better than any Transformers movie I've seen. High praise. High praise indeed.
I like the first Transformers. I'm not going to lie. I'll be that guy. I like the first one.
I'll give you that.
Uh,
Tabula Rasa, season 1.
Yeah, no, I've not seen it.
Do you know what it's about?
Kind of, yes, and I'm very interested in it. It is foreign.
So let's sound smart. Tabula Rasa is Latin for blank slate.
And so this lady, I guess,
clean slate, yeah.
She has problems remembering things properly.
Oh.
And some things are going on in her life and her family, and it kind of looks like a very tense thriller, maybe possible horror.
Okay, so this is a scripted series. Then.
It is.
This may be one of those Scandinavian shows that I've heard about.
I'm not sure.
So there's actually been...
I just heard about it last night, and I know I should have because it's been on our list, but I just was looking at it last night. It looks very interesting.
There's actually a really strong subgenre of like Nordic thrillers and crime procedurals. Things like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Girl on the Train, that sort of thing. And a number of them are actually really good, so I will I'll bear that in mind. Hollywood Masters.
No.
Any idea what that is? Season 2. It would seem like that would be something we'd be interested in.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Although they did a series 5 came back about 5 Hollywood filmmakers who served during the war, and I have to say, now granted, I had read the book beforehand. I was not a fan of the document. It was a very and this is how they changed how we view things, and it was a very self-congratulatory Hollywood BS. Even though it was 5 really great filmmakers whose stuff I like, but it was a pretty self-important nonsense, I thought. All right, Ida season 1. This is season 1, so there's no reason why we would have heard of it before now.
No, I didn't.
On My Block.
No, I just barely read about it. I'm not sure.
All right, Spirit Riding Free. That's animated, right? The horses.
Yeah, the horsies.
My daughter loves anything with little girls and horses.
My Little Pony.
And, yeah. Well, she kind of prefers them to be slightly more realistic. My 3-year-old demands authenticity in her equestrian depictions.
Fair enough.
All right. You were just telling me about the next one, Wild Wild Country.
I love that. It's a
Mark Duplass produced documentary series, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
the fact that he's involved makes me interested, but I don't know anything about it besides that.
It's basically about this cult that is in India, and there's all kinds of Americans going over there pouring money into this whole deal, and then so they decide to move to America. They take over this town that's in America, and in the Dakotas, I believe, and it's just crazy. There's like poisonings going on. There's a bunch of
orgies and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Oh well, I'm in.
Yeah. Have you
poisons and orgies?
Have you seen Welcome to Leith?
No.
Okay, so it's a documentary about white supremacists going in trying to take over a town by using they just have more people there than the citizens, so whenever they vote,
they
So it's kind of
I figured they have a term for that.
Similar to what's happening here,
I think, or something like that. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you, but it's very interesting. I think it's about 6 episodes, maybe 8 episodes. They're long episodes too. They're about an hour and 20 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it. It goes by quick, and I think it's a very good docuseries to watch. And
I'm really
piqued my interest.
I'm really looking forward to watching it. So it's definitely on my list of things to
The Stand-Ups, season 2.
I will sit down and it's probably miss that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it too.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get into the movies?
All right, let's do movies. All right.
There's a bunch of them. We'll just start naming them off.
300, This Is Sparta. You know what this is.
Everybody's seen 300.
Yeah, so nothing needs to be said on that one. 2307, Winter's Dream. Never heard of it. I'm assuming it's something sci-fi oriented.
I have no idea.
Okay. Adventureland.
Love it.
That's a pretty good comedy.
I rewatched it last night.
Really?
I did, and
it's a very good Lex Luthor movie. What is that guy's name? Jesse Eisenberg. Mark Zuckerberg.
There's a whole lot of star power in that movie, actually.
That is one of those where you kind of look at the poster and you're like, holy cow, a lot of those guys have really become big. It's kind of like if you watch Knocked Up now and you're like,
yes,
wow, everybody in Knocked Up is a megastar now.
They're very different movies, but I couldn't help but keep comparing it to the Way Back.
I love the Way Back. That's a very underrated
I love
movie.
Both of those movies. They're different. The only commonality they have is that I love them both, and that they both work at a theme park. Yeah, a rundown theme park. But it's good. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Adventureland.
Algo Me Gordo. Something fad. That's all I know. Alpha and Omega. It's the dogs movie.
Yes.
Nothing about it. Battle Drone.
Nope.
Beer Fest.
That's it's a classic. Everybody tells me. I've not seen it.
No intentions of watching it, frankly.
I skipped through it a few times already. I'm sure people that have heard of it have already seen it.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna watch it, you know if you're gonna watch it, right? Casino.
Love it. Everybody's got to watch it.
Yeah, Casino. This really is one of those. This movie was actually really overlooked when it was released because it had come right after Goodfellas.
Okay.
And it's directed, those who don't know, it's directed by Martin Scorsese. It's also written by the same screenwriter and real kind of crime figure himself who wrote Goodfellas. And it is...
I actually think it's the better movie.
Really?
I do.
Okay. And so people love Goodfellas. This movie came out. It's very similar. I mean, they really are. You can watch these two. They're very much cut from the same cloth. And a lot of people were like, oh, why are they repeating themselves? Why are you giving us more of this thing that we love? That was, isn't it? But Casino, I think, is a great movie. The only thing that is sort of weird about it is, like, I think you will be shocked at how much voiceover narration is in it. There's probably more voiceover narration than there is actual dialogue in the movie.
Which one? Goodfellas, Casino?
Casino.
You like it as well?
No, which one do I like more?
Yes.
Probably Goodfellas, but because
we can be split.
I saw that one. That's one of the first Scorsese movies that I saw. I actually saw it like at 2 a.m. in the morning. They were showing it on the Fox affiliate. It was one of like 4 channels that we had. It was at my grandparents' house, 2 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, let's just see what the movie is. And they show this movie, and it starts with a bang. And like, the movie is long. It's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's terribly long.
All right, so I'm actually staying awake to watch this movie, and I have to turn it off, not because I'm falling asleep, but because my grandparents are waking up before the movie, for the day.
So you never got to finish it?
Well, it was a long time, but like I was just riveted, and I had to track it down and watch it, and I loved it. So
that's a good story.
Yeah. All right. Cruel Intentions.
I'm not really into those.
Yeah, there's all 3 of them. The only thing I really remember about it is that it has Bittersweet Symphony playing. I think it's the movie that introduced Bittersweet Symphony, the song, and a very pristine Sarah Michelle Gellar, if I recall.
It does.
Yeah. All right.
First one.
Oh yeah. Who knows about the sequels?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Cash grabs. All right.
Speaking of Sarah Michelle Gellar. Nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's done ever since. Cruel Intentions. All right. Death Grip. Anything?
No.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes.
I
rewatched it again last night.
I was really excited when they put this one on there because I haven't seen it since it came out. I loved it when it came out. It's the kind of movie that sort of introduced me to Peter Siegel. Or Jason Siegel.
Jason, I forgot how much I liked this movie.
Yeah,
like I thought it was great when it came out. And everybody my age knows. They're like, oh yeah, it's classic. But no,
there's actually a number of those movies that all came out like right at the same time, and they have really been great. Like I watched Knocked Up not that long ago, and it had been almost the same thing, not since the year that it came out. Knocked Up is just as good, maybe even better than it was when it came out, I would say. Maybe the fact that I'm married and had a child now.
I could go without seeing Jason's Wang, for just a split second.
Yeah. But you know what? If that's the price I have to pay for the rest of the movie that is so good, then so be it. All right. I once heard an anecdote with someone's mother who had saw it and goes, "Oh, he's Jewish."
That's a good one.
All right. Ghostbusters.
My kids love these movies.
Really?
Love Ghostbusters 1, and I love them for it, but they do not care for the newest one that much.
Well, it's because they have taste.
Yes, I know. I mean, I'm raising good little
kids. How do you feel about Ghostbusters yourself? Were you kind of raised with that movie? No, I was not.
I was not.
I saw it almost in my late teens.
I saw it probably my first time when I was about 17.
And truth be told, when I first saw it, I was not terribly impressed with it.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was a little cheesy the first time I saw it, just because I had not grown up with it. Now I've seen it a few more times. I've kind of come to like it, and it's just like a good family film.
Yeah, it really is. It has been surprising. I saw it shortly before the new one came out. I had not seen it in a long time. My wife had never seen it. Sit down to watch it, and as we were watching it, I was like, this is because it's a movie it's a comedy that doesn't try to make you laugh.
Yes.
And what they focus on is they try to develop the story well, and the story is actually fairly well plotted.
It's the situations is just so funny about it.
And they actually have a moment in there that I was surprised where it's like when Dan Aykroyd and the black one are writing they're driving along and they're talking about hey, did you ever read in the Bible about like the end of times, Revelations, and all that sort of thing? And he goes, yeah, end of the world stuff. And he's like, did you ever think that maybe that's why we're having to catch all these ghosts, because that's happening? And they have like a moment where they actually think that maybe the apocalypse is happening, and maybe that's why they're catching all these ghosts. Ernie Hudson, I cannot believe I didn't remember his name. The great Ernie Hudson.
I can't tell you anything else he's ever been in. I really don't.
Ghostbusters 2? And but yeah, and it was good. It was, and it's like they completely disregarded like all of those things for the remake, it would seem.
Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't recapture that magic.
Yeah, it's like thinking about. You know what is funny though? What was actually what Ghostbusters now reminds me the most of, and I say this in a good way. Galaxy Quest.
I love Galaxy Quest.
I love Galaxy Quest, but it's the same where it's like it's a very well developed story with just funny situations instead of punchlines.
Yeah, I agree.
Per se, good movie. All right, Ghostbusters 2. A lot of people hate it. I like Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Gridiron Gang, The Rock, football.
It is.
Inner City Kids, right?
I believe so.
All right, you already know if you like it or not.
Guess Who?
I like Guess Who.
That's with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yes.
I thought that movie was funny when it came out. I've seen it a few times since.
I have not seen it since. I thought it was really funny at the time. Bernie Mac. I really love Bernie Mac.
Me too.
I love Bernie Mac. Did you ever see Mr. 3000?
I did. I watched it for the first time a couple years ago.
It
was on Netflix, matter of fact. I think it came on Netflix a couple years ago.
He is just a fantastic actor. And I felt like he elevated that movie. It's a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, famous Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn. But the flip is that now instead of a white family embracing a potential black fiance, it is a black family, and their daughter brings home a white guy, and not just any white guy, Ashton Kutcher white guy. The only way it could be worse if they brought home like Johnny Knoxville.
Could you imagine coming home to Bernie Mac as your father-in-law, like just his character? But
yeah, and this one is much lighter than the original one, but they still have a moment where they're asking him to tell them black jokes, and it's actually like it's a funny scene, and then like it turns on a dime, and it's a memorable scene. Hostage, Bruce Willis movie. Kind of before he stopped being a star. It's okay. I Am. Have you seen it?
What?
Hostage.
No, I have not.
If you haven't, so you're not missing anything. I Am number 4.
Yeah, it's a skipper.
Yeah, that's a skipper.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen that?
I actually have seen it.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
It is bad.
It's like the ultimate example of like why tween YA movie adaptations.
Fail?
It's like what to avoid. That one and the Fifth Wave, or the Fourth Wave.
Fifth Wave.
Yeah,
Either
that
way.
one.
Yeah.
You could remake the exact same movie as a comedy and not change a thing. All right.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
I was okay with it.
Man,
I was okay with it.
I was more than okay with it.
I run hot and cold on Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
I like Kevin James.
I kind
a
of like
lot.
Adam. I kind of like Adam Sandler in several of his movies. Several of them. Also, I don't care for him in. But Kevin James is hilarious,
Yeah.
and I love him in everything. I'm
Kevin-
sorry.
Kevin
if,
James-
if he's in the movie, I'm going to go see it.
He is incredibly likable. Yeah. You know, it's a movie that my dad loves.
What's that?
Here Comes the Bone.
Huh.
He loves
Understandably.
that movie. He loves that movie. And you know what? All things being equal, that is actually it's a good movie.
You know what's super cheesy is Zookeeper. I still love it.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Most people hate the
Talking Gorilla?
Most people hate the Paul Blart movies. Well, critically, but they're successful, obviously. So some people like them.
Second one is probably one of my least favorite Kevin James movies, just because I didn't think it was as funny. But the first one,
I thought the first one, I
funny.
laughed a lot in it.
Moving on.
Jackass number 2.
No, well, no, I'm just not that kind of.
Yeah,
guy.
whatever. I think we've seen internet videos of people doing crazy, stupid things.
Yeah, you
There's
get
no
that
reason
every
to-
day on.
Yeah. There's no reason to watch them.
I don't know
It's like
why you need to be
America's.
famous coming.
It's like America's Funniest Home Videos. There's no reason to watch that ever again.
Yeah,
All right. Land, Gold, Women.
and it makes me wonder if that title's even right. Land. I don't know what that is.
But a bunch of gold diggers. All right. Martian Child. I know I have heard of this movie. I don't know anything about it.
Is it John Cusack?
Yeah.
I saw this movie in the theater with Sarah a long time ago. I can't really remember if I liked the movie too much or not, to be honest.
I have to be honest. This is one of those titles that like I kind of confuse it with K-Pax. Neither of which I've seen.
I don't terribly remember what it's all about. Like, he gets a little boy somehow, and I don't know
Who
if
quite
it's
possibly could be Martian.
through the foster system or if it's through. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. Martian Child?
All right.
Question mark.
Yeah. Whatever. Brief run through on The Gift. This is a movie. Joel Edgerton is sort of a loser who's been bullied in high school. Years later, one of his bullies, who is Jason Bateman, along with his wife, move into the same neighborhood. Gradually, Joel Edgerton begins to insinuate himself into their lives, mostly innocuously, but then later more sinisterly. And this is a movie, like we said, it starts off kind of slow. An absolute recommendation to see this movie.
Go see it.
This movie...
At your house. Sit down in your underwear on the couch.
Yes.
Watch it.
It's better in your underwear, truthfully.
Yes.
You know,
What isn't?
You know, I love watching TV in my underwear. How it got in my underwear, I'll never know. All right. All right, let's go on.
Lazarus Project.
Not Olivia Munn. I can't remember the actress.
Don't remember either. I know friends who like it. I've never seen it.
Mark
Not much of
Duplass
a
is in
desire.
it.
Really?
Yeah. But
Don't think
I've heard a lot of people say not great things about it.
Yeah. True to the game?
Never heard of it.
No idea.
Untraceable. Oh no, this is what's her name?
Okay.
Diane Lane.
That is the horror movie, right?
Yeah.
That's worth a watch.
Is it really?
It is worth a watch.
It has a 3-star review from Roger Ebert, which is actually pretty good. 16% Rotten Tomatoes.
So if you kind of like the Saw movies,
Yeah.
which, I mean, the only decent one's the first one. It's like that, but better.
Yeah.
And it's not quite, it's more done from the side of the detective. It's worth it. I'm telling you, Untraceable is worth a shot.
Diane Lane is actually a really solid actress. Very rarely has a leading role, so that to me honestly kind of elevates it a bit.
Up in the Air?
You know, I have not seen this movie since it came out. When I saw it in the movie theater, I liked it a lot. I am curious to know how well it ages. It was made very much for its time. It's about a man, George Clooney is a man who specializes in firing people for companies that are having to do layoffs in the midst of the 2008 recession.
Is Anna Kendrick in this movie
Andrew
as well?
Kendrick, yeah, this is one
This
of
was
her,
like before she's...
before she was a star.
Yes.
And he sort of takes her under his wing and sort of, she is his Padawan learned to his Jedi Knight. And he is a very heartless, unattached man, and over the course of the movie, he begins to develop relationships with people, and so forth, so on.
I didn't like this movie.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I've also not seen it since it first came out, but I liked it when I saw it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is when, not Ivan Reitman, Jason Reitman, writer-director of this movie. And one of the things that he does that I sort of like is he takes actors who are more comedy actors and puts them in serious roles. So Zach Galifianakis is in this movie in not a comedy role at all. He's pretty good at it.
I love it when comedians do serious roles.
Yeah.
It tends to pay off. Wet Hot American Summer.
You know, so many people have talked about this movie.
So many people.
I've never seen it
I've
or
not
the TV series.
Seen
Have you?
a trailer for it. No.
It's crazy. A lot of people love this, and I'm completely in the dark about it.
Society says, watch this movie. I couldn't tell you otherwise.
Okay.
Women at War, 1939 to 1945.
The story of our marriage. All right.
I didn't laugh at that, Sarah, I promise.
You did that,
Available on the 2nd of the month, which we've blown past. Yeah,
these are a bunch of foreign things that I can't say the name
I
of.
can't pronounce them either. Let's keep going.
All right, let's keep going.
Expedition to China.
Nope.
Know nothing about it.
F the Prom.
I've not seen it, but it's probably terrible, probably cheesy. I think I'm going to watch it though, at some point.
Why not?
You know, the dude from Workaholics. He's like in everything these days.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the
yeah.
creators even of Workaholics, I believe, made this movie. And this guy's doing the whole prom thing, and things aren't working out just right. So kind of becomes a Groundhog Day scenario. It looks like from the trailers. So he keeps reliving it, trying to.
You know, they had a horror movie with that premise as well. They've done that. They've done the Groundhog Day premise with like every genre now.
They're getting
They
it
get
around
their money's
everywhere.
worth out of that one. Thank you, Bill Murray.
Benji.
Never seen it. I actually want to see it.
I've never seen it either.
Is this the original or is this the new?
That's the original, and then they came out with
For the Love of Benji.
They're
Is the
also
brand new
got
one.
For the Love of Benji.
Yeah.
I've not seen it. Gad.
Imola. I'm guessing that's a comedy special.
Yeah, probably so.
Imola, American Dream. Yeah. Aftershock. Any idea?
Mm-mm.
Nope. Ladies first.
No, but that is a good rule. Open up the doors for the women.
Yep. The Outsider.
Also in the bedroom, if you can.
Okay. Very good.
There you go.
All right. Don't know what that is. Kigu Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Hollywood special. Troy, The Odyssey. I don't know what this is, but I actually love. I'm a huge fan of the Iliad and the Odyssey.
That's basically what it's supposed to be. It's like I think it's a made-for-TV movie, possibly. Yeah. It looks very low budget.
Okay. Well,
and I've heard it's not good.
Then I'll pass. Because it's a shame. Like, you have like two of the oldest narratives in human history, and both the Iliad and the Odyssey are actually incredibly accessible even today. I would say.
Yeah.
There's really amazing stories. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there's really been a decent movie adaptation of either one of those.
No,
Troy was okay, but they play down the supernatural elements of that movie. Oddly enough, they're still gods and goddesses, but they don't give them any supernatural. It's strange. All right, Children of the Whale, season 1.
Sounds a little odd. I don't know what that's about.
Ricky Gervais, Humanity. This is a
Look,
comedy
man,
special.
I tried to watch some comedy specials, and
There's just too many of them.
there's a lot. I try to watch Ricky Gervais because he's kind of funny in some things. Some other things, he
I
always takes it too far.
I like Ricky Gervais as a comedic performer and as a writer. I've never been a huge fan of his stand-up.
I made it through about 15 minutes and I shut it off.
You know,
I was done.
And super politically oriented, I believe. funny as well.
Yeah, and he was kind of this way in this comedy too.
Yeah, it's kind of it was kind of a big disappointment for me. And Chris Rock's most recent Chris Rock, the best stand-up comedians I feel like ever.
He's amazing.
And he has a lot of great stuff in his newest one, but it's I mean they spent a lot of it sort of giving political lectures.
Not the only one,
me.
but one of my favorites that I've watched recently is Joe Rogan's.
Triggered.
Yes.
Yes, Joe Rogan.
So this is not recent, but if you haven't seen Joe Rogan's Triggered stand-up special, it's great.
Yeah.
I laughed hard.
Okay, so we'll miss that.
Stretch Armstrong.
Is this a cartoon?
It is a cartoon.
I always wanted a Stretch Armstrong toy.
Yeah, the
could
toy.
never have one. Did you have one?
I did not have one.
You know what I remember about them is that on the package it had the thing that was like, if you somehow cut like their arms, because I guess it was like a goop that was inside it that allowed it to stretch. On the instructions it says, please place tape or Band-Aid over it, and it had like a drawing of like how to put a Band-Aid over it to keep it from
I had no idea about
it. Seems
this.
like an incredible environmental hazard. Yeah.
It's very interesting. I don't know if you know much about this new cartoon. So it is a cartoon TV show. It's interactive. It'll let you kind of decide which story you're wanting to tell, almost. I'm sure it's got its overall story, but so you'll be watching it, and about 5 minutes in, it'll say, hey, do you want Johnny to go get his backpack, or do you want him to run over here with his friends? And he can choose that, and it'll play that segment of the story. Yeah. And it'll lead you up to the next spot where you can choose which path you want your character to take.
I am inclined to say that I would not be a fan of this at all.
I would not be either.
Yeah.
But it's not made for us. It's made for kids. The thing with that is kids can choose what they want to do, and I mean that it immediately repeats itself to or lends itself to repeat viewings. Kids want to see.
Choose what they want to do. Again.
I think it's a brilliant move by Netflix.
Possibly. There was.
I don't think it's Stretch Armstrong, some beloved character that they possibly messed up on. I think they took a gamble, and it may or may not work out for them.
Well, it's like, there was a whole industry for those choose your own adventure books. When kids read books.
Video games.
Maybe, yeah. Too. So maybe that's I don't know. I don't know that it just seems like in storytelling it never seems to work really well. Maybe they'll have better luck with it. Maybe since it's kids it will.
I'm not going to watch the series and let you know if it's good or not.
Okay.
I just thought it was an interesting idea.
Yeah, it is.
Terrace House opening new doors.
No idea.
No idea. Jackass 3.5.
Yeah.
Another pass. I feel like we're getting.
We're talking about Benji again. Yeah. Take your pills.
Take your pills. So that was interesting. It's a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
It's about Adderall. How people have been using it in the past.
Yeah.
How it's widespread overuse of it now.
Yeah.
I'd say it's worth the time.
Great. Something else to feel bad about.
Yes.
All right. Legacy of the White-tailed Deer Hunter.
No.
Yeah. In Search of Fellini. I don't know anything about this. I do like Federico Fellini as a filmmaker, so I'm kind of interested to find out what this is about, if it is actually about Fellini or...
I'm not sure either.
I'll have to double check on this. Oh, there we go. 100 Years, One Woman's Fight for Justice.
I'm sure it's excellent.
If
I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Unless it's about Wonder Woman, I'm not terribly interested. Conor McGregor, Notorious. I don't really know anything about Conor McGregor other than he's a beast,
I don't know what this is about. I really don't care what it's about. If you just want to be entertained, Conor McGregor is entertaining every time you listen to him.
Yeah, he's definitely... All right, the fact that somebody who knows nothing about fighters, i.e. me, knows who he is, means that he has like some crossover appeal.
I don't
definitely
know
has a personality, if nothing else.
No sure what this is about, but
okay.
I'd say it might be worth a watch.
Lovesick Season 3. I have never seen any of those seasons.
So this is let's just skip over this section. This is stuff from January to now.
Okay.
Let's just kind of pass over that.
I'm going to skip over this completely except for one thing.
Go ahead.
Because I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite shows of the last 5 years. And they have just moved it on to Netflix, which is Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yes, we can talk about that.
I love this. This is like the most addictive show. I remember when they first announced it, and I watched it when it was web-based. Crackle It was hosted through Crackle, and you can go watch it online through Crackle. And this has been like one of the most enjoyable things that I'd say I've been able to watch in the last 5 years.
I had not watched it because I was not a big Jerry Seinfeld fan.
And I think this is a thing for people who don't like Jerry Seinfeld, honestly.
And I was talking with a friend the other night. I think I might retry again Seinfeld. Just try it again, but I'd been avoiding this until you told me about it.
Yeah.
Told me to give it a try, and I genuinely like the show. I think it's pretty great.
I've actually rewatched a number of episodes on this.
It's they're very short episodes too.
Yeah, they're 15 minutes usually, and
super easy to breeze through.
Yeah.
And every single one of them, it's an interesting conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I wish we'd be in a car getting some coffee and copying him right now.
Yeah, and it's like the perfect concept. And you know what? When we talk about all these vague titles that we have on here, The Gift, Untraceable.
Yeah, you know what this is about?
You know what you're getting when you see this. It is comedians in cars getting coffee. And he has like a stellar assortment of comedians that he talks to.
Amazing cars.
Amazing cars. Absolutely amazing cars. And some of these are going to be comedians that you know, they're very recognizable, and other ones aren't. I think this, I will say this, probably oddly enough, like maybe one of my favorite ones is he goes and has coffee with Norm Macdonald.
Yes.
And Norm Macdonald has kind of become like a favorite comedian of mine over the past few years, and it's just wonderful. I love it.
I recommend it.
It's like being in the car, having coffee with them, but also not being burdened by having to contribute to the conversation. All right. So we'll get off of that.
Let's talk about stuff leaving Netflix starting tomorrow.
Oh.
The original Voltron. Season 1 leaving.
Really? And they're just starting season 3, and they're getting rid of season.
If you want to get in on Voltron, the original, you better do it now. They'll probably be gone before this hits online or anywhere.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's a movie I really loved as a kid. It has not aged.
I rewatched it when it came back,
but it's still pretty good.
It's okay.
It's pretty good. All right.
I'm surprised this one's actually kind of leaving maybe a little bit. But that being said, I'm not a huge fan of The Life Aquatic.
Yeah, and you're a much bigger Wes Anderson fan than I am.
I'm a huge fan, but
that one is just,
not crazy about that movie.
It's kind of a miss for me.
It's one of my least favorite Wes Anderson movies. So
it's saying a lot. All right,
they're all pretty good.
The Gates, season 1. Do you like Rushmore?
I love Rushmore.
Okay.
Isle of Dogs comes out today.
We need to wrap this up so we can see it.
Yes.
All right.
Life in Pieces, season 1. Yeah. I can't care. It's leaving. Awake. Border Town. Breakout Kings. Brickleberry.
Season 1 through 3.
Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life.
Friends with Benefits.
Did you ever see Friends with Benefits?
Well, I saw the movie, but not the TV show.
That is the TV show. I now noticed that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
In Like Flint.
Oh, that is a James Coburn spy film.
And it's out. Netflix. It's leaving.
Yeah.
Leaving Netflix on the
Out
31st.
Like Flint. All right.
Rosewood, Salem, Small Shots, The Awakening, The Carmichael Show, Chicago Code, The Crazy Ones, The Finder, The Good Son, and Traffic Light Season 1. I can't say that's any of those are a must watch.
Nope.
Leaving on the
30
first
days. Have you seen 30 Days of Night?
I have.
I've actually kind of wanted to see this movie for a long time, and I've never made the effort to actually fully see it. So I actually think I might try to watch the power through that one. Is it a recommendation or
no? To be honest,
basically it's vampires in Alaska where they're struck for 30 days, and vampires take over this town.
Actually, no, it was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's Josh Hartnett. So what do you expect?
Whatever happened to that guy?
He's coming back.
Is he?
Yeah, he's coming back. He has it's either a show or a movie or something it was making the festival rounds recently.
Huh.
Yeah.
88 Minutes. That's the Al Pacino movie.
Terrible.
Not that great.
Terrible.
Ace
Watch
Ventura,
DOA instead. Okay.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I don't really.
A lot of people I know like it. It is what it is. I'm sure if you've wanted to see it, you've seen it by now.
I don't really care about Jim Carrey.
American Pie 1 and 2.
I actually really liked the first one.
I'm sure most people have seen it. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I feel like that's kind of like the precursor to us, really, the Judd Apatow sort of.
Oh, it's got to
comedies.
be. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Very good movie. I like it.
Apollo 13. If you hadn't seen it, you definitely need to check it out.
Yeah, it's a great movie you could watch with your family. Great adventure film.
Batman, the original quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy.
I believe is how they say.
You know, if you like Batman or if you like laughing, I guess you can watch it for that. Otherwise, you know, buyer beware.
Caddyshack.
You know, I've never liked that movie as much as a lot of people seem to. I feel like it's
I'm okay.
It's really sloppily made.
It's
Yeah.
take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
That is the Tim
Burton
Burton remake.
Yeah. With Willy Wonka as reimagined as a creepy pedophile.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh man, they've got some creepy posters, original posters for that movie too.
It's not a bad movie. It has Christopher Lee as a dentist.
My kids like it okay, but I want
sit with the original. You know. Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, man.
Yeah, that's a fun family film.
Yeah, I'd say sit down with your family, watch it if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Death Sentence.
This is essentially a death. It is based on a novel by the Death Wish author, and the movie has nothing to do with the book. The movie is essentially basically Death Wish, but with Kevin Bacon.
Interesting.
It's directed by James Wan. It actually has some really great.
James Wan directed it?
Yes, it has some really great cinematic, stylistic things in an otherwise really ordinary movie. So it's a sort of a kind of a recommendation, I would say.
Dolphin Tale.
Yeah.
Have you seen Eagle vs. Shark?
You know, it looks like one of those movies that it just looks. You know, when people are just trying to be quirky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've never mustered up the
not a lot of people seem
courage to watch it. I guess
doesn't seem to be a lot of love for it. So
and
despite the fact that
I'm
love,
probably gonna let it go.
I love Jermaine Clement though. John Mulaney, New in Town, whatever. Never Let Me Go. Well, not according to Netflix.
Set Up.
Yeah. Small Soldiers.
You know, I liked Small
Soldiers?
Soldiers when I was younger.
So Small Soldiers, I think, is interesting because so many of the actual soldiers are actual cast members from The Dirty Dozen.
Yes, I did know this.
60s, yeah. It's directed by Joe Dante, I think.
And it's got a young.
So Jim Brown and Ernest Borgnine are all voices in there. Is Elijah Wood? No, it's not him.
No, it's not him.
Can't remember.
It's got what's her name in it though from the original Spider-Man.
Kristen Dunst. Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. Who is excellent in Fargo season 2.
Amazing.
Excellent Fargo season 2. I heard she's great in Beguiled, which I haven't seen.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Happiness.
That's a pretty good Will Smith movie.
I like that movie for a Will Smith movie.
In a lot of ways, it's maybe the last really good Will Smith movie.
I recommend it.
And a good Jaden Smith movie too. There was a time.
His first?
There was a go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure.
First and last. Shawshank Redemption.
If you probably know if you've seen this movie or not. A lot of people seem to love it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's worth a watch if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Whole 9 Yards.
Never seen it.
Wild Wild West as Will Smith's
Kevin Kline.
least finest.
Maybe his least profitable movie. Starry Eyes, never heard of it. The Hollow. It's kind of a British horror film, and I didn't care for it that much. Nightingale, Emperor's New Clothes, and Leap Year, which is essentially a Irish remake of It Happened One Night with Amy Adams. It's despite
huge Amy Adams fan.
Yeah,
actually.
and this is one of her first kind of like starring vehicle movies, and one of the last kind of real romantic comedies to get like a big major theatrical. Romantic comedies are pretty much dead in terms of theatrical release.
she engages to her boyfriend, or she proposes to her boyfriend in this one. Is that right?
I think so,
I
something
think,
like that.
yeah, something about that.
She has to go to Ireland to be there for anyway. It is the premise of it happened one night. She ends up being with the man she doesn't like, and they end up falling in love instead. That sort of thing. Amy Adams is incredibly likable,
As always.
As always, she's really amazing. Otherwise, it's not much in there, I would say.
I'd say watch it.
Yeah, give Amy some love. All right.
All right.
We'll
ready
wrap
to
it up.
Wrap it up. Well, you want to talk about the wacky movie or not?
Let's save that. Let's actually talk about maybe a movie that we liked instead.
Okay.
Okay. So a movie that I don't think either of us had really heard about that is available on Netflix.
I know where this is going.
Yes, The Ritual.
The Ritual was amazing.
This is another vaguely titled movie, and it's not to be confused with another movie called Ritual with Anthony Hopkins. This is this is a UK horror film, and I had heard about this because I've heard it mentioned on a couple other podcasts, including one with Mick Garris and then on The Nerdist. And I'd say this is an absolute recommendation for me.
Yeah, 2 big thumbs up. Went into it not knowing anything about it, and I loved it. Talked to a couple guys about it at work. They've seen it. They've also loved it. Everyone I talked to thinks the movie is great.
No, this has been like such a pleasant surprise.
The way it just builds the story and kind of keeps getting more and more and more tense throughout. I mean, it's great, and you don't know what it is.
Let's give like a brief. So basically, what the premise is that there's a group of friends who, after a traumatic incident, they are going on a kind of a man's outing weekend where they're hiking through some, I think, Scandinavian woods or Norwegian woods or something like that. Possibly. And anyway, one of them sprains his ankle. They decide to take a shortcut, and boy, they end up regretting veering off the beaten path and going through the woods when they feel like something is coming after them.
Get into a mysterious cabin, start having visions. Maybe they're not having visions.
Yeah,
you don't know.
This is a movie. It seems like a super generic premise in a super generic title.
But it's not.
And if I was just to see this title listed and to read the plot description, I would not have been interested in watching it.
I had no inclination of watching it ever until you mentioned it.
Yeah, and this is, it's not that movie at all. I was really worried at first that, hey, this is going to be one of those movies where, and it's probably best knowing little about this.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
You don't want to give anything away, but I was sort of kind of worried that, is this going to be one of those movies where they kind of end up, we're just going to leave it to your mind what's going on over here, that kind of thing. And without giving any details, they do the perfect balance of that.
Pass.
Where they build up, they kind of get you, acclimate you to the premise. It's a new kind of a premise. And then when they actually kind of play their cards, they just completely deliver on that.
I recommend watching it distraction free too.
Yeah, no, I watched this. Okay, I watched this movie. I would highly recommend watching this movie with a good set of headphones on your iPhone next to your spouse while they're sleeping. Because I have to admit, I actually felt myself getting really kind of worked up. And it's been a long time since I felt that way in a horror movie.
Reach over and hold her hand for a little bit.
Please, just tell me that it's not real. It has a good British cast. It actually has the lead of this movie is actually a guy who's probably most known to American audiences for his roles in comedies, including Hot Fuzz. He's one of the cops in Hot Fuzz. He's also in Shaun of the Dead, I believe. Kind of an Edgar Wright regular, so to speak. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because this is probably a movie that's probably best experienced knowing as little as possible going into it.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
One to avoid, Veronica.
Okay, I will say Veronica times 2 because there are 2 movies called Veronica.
Yes.
And I accidentally watched the black and white art house one for 30 minutes thinking, when are the monsters going to show up?
I think the reason why so many people like Veronica is maybe it's the first movie they've actually paid attention to in a while.
Yeah.
A horror movie, because the one good thing about it is it's foreign.
Yeah.
So you've got to pay attention to read the subtitles.
Yeah.
That's probably about the biggest thing. People draws you into the movie. I didn't really think it was that great though. I thought it was okay.
I know a lot of people that are really talking about this movie.
Everybody's talking about it online.
This movie. And yeah, I was. It didn't do anything for
So
me.
if you got to choose between two, watch The Ritual.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Easily.
Hands down. All right, well that's our really great Netflix recommendation for this episode. So we're going to wrap it up, and we will return in our next segment. Kind of tell you a little bit more about titles that we know about, and the many dozens that we apparently don't know anything about.
Nothing.
Nothing about. All right, that's it for this one.
Bye.
Catch you next time.